I'm Lauren Stahl, Head of Sales at Komodo Health. Welcome to For the Health of It, where we bring together some of the world's top scientists, analysts, and health experts to discuss the biggest challenges in the healthcare industry today. With us today is Aracelis Torres, PhD, MPH, and Senior Vice President of Customer Solutions and Quantitative Sciences at Verana Health. Verana Health has been a trusted partner of Komodo since April 2021, where we have joined forces together to bring added dimension into real-world patient journeys, empowering physicians and accelerating research for patients. Welcome, Aracelis. We are so happy to have you here today.
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
Your resume boasts some of the biggest names in healthcare and life sciences research. You did your undergrad and MPH at Yale, and you received your PhD from Johns Hopkins, along with your extensive experience in-house at the Brooklyn Hospital Center and Flatiron Health. That is a breadth of experience. How did you land at Verana?
Well, thank you for your very kind words. It's been quite a journey. I definitely have had the opportunity to learn from amazing researchers, amazing academics that know a lot about observational data, have worked with heterogeneous types of data assets overall. And I knew for me, I was always very passionate about healthcare. So you can see my general trajectory was very healthcare focused and very data focused at the same time. In terms of what brought me to Verana Health specifically, I'm very drawn to the startup environment to get the opportunity to build something from the ground up. And I think what is unique about Verana Health specifically is both the scale at which it's trying to accomplish a lot of really interesting data challenges. It has over 90 million de-identified patients in-house, and that's something that really unlocks a lot of really interesting opportunities, whether it's understanding rare indications that if your data set is not large enough, you don't have enough granularity to understand trends or basic associations, to really engaging through our medical society partnerships, direct interactions with the providers. So the scale of the data was immensely attractive to me overall. And additionally, the distinctive therapeutic areas that they are working in, neurology, ophthalmology, and urology, I found it very intriguing to figure out what are some data considerations that are agnostic to therapeutic areas versus specific to it, to understand when do methods and methodology need to adapt to the condition or disease versus what can be applied at scale overall. And I was very excited by the people I met and the team that we have grown across the board, especially within our customer solutions and quantitative sciences groups.
Wonderful. It has been great to see the team grow as well, and our partnership and how we've been able to work together and bring this linked offering and the partnership to life. You're currently serving as the SVP of Customer Solutions and Quantitative Sciences. How did these seemingly disparate topics come together for you and your team?
I think overall we've seen a growing trend whenever there is data making up a strong portion of an organization's mission or mandate. We often see that there ends up being more synergies between customer and analytics. And how we think about that at Verana specifically is ensuring that the voice of the customer ties into everything that we do. So ensuring that there are feedback loops in place. So we bring together our customer solutions function and our quantitative sciences functions together by, for example, reviewing the output of recent customer satisfaction surveys, understanding how our data offerings aligned or didn't align with the question at hand that they had, and ensuring that as we roll out our data products, that they have an impact and are fit for use for some of the most critical priorities across our customer base overall, whether that's the way in which they frame the question, the way in which we align our data capabilities to answering those questions, to even how the data looks. We want to make sure that that experience is user-friendly and that we are able to accelerate insights from the receipt of data to generation of output overall. So I think we have seen more connectivity between these two groups, not only within healthcare, but I would say across the board in various sectors overall, to ensure that the data has meaningful impact in general.
Wonderful. That makes sense. EHR, as we all know, has been the backbone of healthcare data for decades. But we all also know that EHR data alone isn't enough. It captures a very specific silo when you think about an individual's trajectory throughout the healthcare ecosystem. When you think about claims data, which captures broad utilization, it doesn't offer that level of detail life sciences companies may need to really derive that actionable insight. Again, thinking about both of these together is really the gold star. I know that both Verana and Komodo are passionate about the opportunities that combining these sources unlock. Talk to us a little bit about the value potential that you've seen this being brought to market. And I will say also that my team speaks very highly of our integrated offering and partnership as well.
And as do we. I think it's an amazing partnership overall. And I think it really recognizes that no single database data asset alone will be enough to answer some of the really important questions that exist in this space overall. Some of that is due to the fragmented nature of our healthcare system. Sometimes it's where data is going to reside, and it's important to figure out ways that we can bring those pieces together to really complement and complete the patient journey overall. But there's that common saying that the sum of the whole is greater than its parts. And I think that is the case when we bring together Komodo claims data alongside EHR data from Verana. I think each of those components bring immensely valuable information to the table. Obviously, each has its limitations, as you can imagine. For EHRs, we believe that that information provides clarity, additional granularity as it pertains to diagnoses, the severity of the disease that the patient is afflicted with, physician decision-making outcomes, other clinical characteristics that perhaps aren't viewable in other types of data resources that could be available. Now, claims data also really beneficial because we get into that double clicking of the procedures that the patient experiences, hospitalization information, and because our databases are very much focused on the specialist portion of the care management, that may mean that we don't have visibility into what the primary care provider is documenting in their own separate EHR system. So we are able to better crystallize that by the linking of claims data from Komodo with Verana's EHR data. The combination of these two really help to provide deeper insights that span the drug development lifecycle, from trial and study planning to post-approval and also commercialization of new disease assets. There's been recent research that highlights that it's expected or estimated that about 80% of patient information tends to reside in unstructured notes, and oftentimes that's untapped. And the more that we can better structure that and really glean meaningful insights, the more that we can bring higher value to this combination of data assets.
Absolutely. It's clear, based on what you're saying and what we're seeing in the market as well, that the coupling of EHR data, claims data, what we call our healthcare map, could deliver value across the entire life sciences life cycle. We see that on a consistent basis here at Komodo. I'm sure you see that as well at Verana, and also in multiple therapeutic areas. In your own experience, where have you seen this happen in the real world?
Yeah, I'll touch on a few customer examples that we have had that have spanned the last year or so. We've had customers come to us, in particular, they wanted to better understand the treatment given to a condition known as age-related macular degeneration, which is an ophthalmic condition. They wanted to understand safety of the drug of interest for them, understanding longitudinally the types of clinical outcomes that surface, which is where we can really leverage and lean on the EHR, visual acuity, seeing whether that is improving or getting worse over time at different milestones over the patient journey overall. But they also wanted to understand the types of medications that the patient was receiving, and also underlying comorbid conditions that may not be specific, again, to the ophthalmologist. So that's where we saw really the interesting combination of these two databases further our understanding and also our clients' understanding of what the patient was experiencing over the course of care. Because again, we as patients often see multiple providers for different conditions, and it's not until we bring all of those disaggregate pieces together that we really understand the totality of the patient journey. The other place we saw this in a different customer use case was in early stage prostate cancer, where we leverage claims data to, again, further our understanding of the types of procedures that in some instances a urologist may refer out to other institutions, or again, is captured predominantly by primary care providers. And this is where claims data can further our understanding of what's happening over the course of the patient journey, while from the EHR, we can deep dive into what stage was the patient diagnosed at, what is their Gleason score in the context of prostate cancer, and some really relevant clinical outcomes over time.
Wonderful. And Verana is particularly interested in making these insights available to partners in your medical society, such as the American Academy of Neurology. What are you hearing from the providers you work with about how this might change the game for end users, really for patients?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up our partnerships with the medical society. So at the moment, Verana Health has exclusive registry partnerships with 3 medical societies: the American Academy of Ophthalmology, the American Academy of Neurology, which you noted, and also the American Urological Association. So we manage data end to end from ingestion into a medical registry, and that means harmonizing data across over 70 distinct EHRs to be able to generate insights and help propel industry understanding of what's going on in the real world from clinical documentation patterns overall. And as part of this partnership, the medical practices that engage with these registries actually benefit from a value-added service that Verana provides, such as MIPS quality reporting for a subset of providers, clinical trial opportunities, and other use cases as well. And we have a phenomenal practice experience team that actually engages directly with our provider network to ensure that we are, as I noted earlier, engaging in that feedback loop. So as they're seeing in real time some of their performance across a variety of MIPS measures, which are quality metrics that are due to CMS reporting standards, they're able to engage in real time with what they're seeing over the course of the last reporting year. That also helps us factor in additional ways in which they are documenting particular data points that factor into some of the measure calculations. So it's really exciting to be so closely tied and partnered with the medical societies and to have that built-in relationship across the board. And I think we also see this in the context of our clinical trial offering, Verana Trial Connect. And it's really meant to surface potential eligible patients that a physician is seeing, trying to discern across the massive amounts of data that is produced with every healthcare interaction, understanding whether they do meet certain inclusion/exclusion criteria for a particular trial, and highlighting that to the provider or to the coordinators at the practice itself to ensure that, again, we are connecting the dots in bringing trial opportunities and eligibility to them overall. It's been a great partnership across these 3 institutions, and they entrust us to manage data from their network. There's nearly 500 million de-identified healthcare encounters overall that we put into our health data engine that we refer to as VeriQ. And so it's an exciting place to be at the center of this healthcare data ecosystem overall. And we do want to power quality data. So we've been able to, again, engage in a meaningful fashion there.
It sounds like your data science and engineering team must be quite robust, given the amount of data that you're working with and the harmonization and the bringing together that you're doing to deliver these insights in the market.
Yes, it's been very exciting. I think, there's a lot of passion about data, but there's also a lot of passion about quality data, ensuring that there is high transparency, high visibility to really generate meaningful insights.
We've talked a lot about the data itself, which I think for both of our organizations is so foundational and core to what it is that we're doing. EHR data, claims data, what we call our healthcare map. Let's get into the weeds a little bit here. You have to have the technology horsepower to do the work, to link, to harmonize the data together, to deliver those insights. And Verana is working with Komodo to do just that. We announced our partnership back in April 2021. Help us understand a little bit more. Why did you choose to work with us? And what are some of those insights that you've seen come to light thus far?
Yeah, I think the use cases I shared earlier provide examples of how the partnership with Komodo has already yielded amazing results. And there's certainly much more to look forward to over the course of our continued partnership overall. And I think, again, pairing Verana Health's de-identified outpatient EHR data with the robust claims view that Komodo provides, I think just enables that complete view overall. I think one of the main reasons that the partnership has been so fruitful, as with any linking of data sets, there needs to be meaningful overlap. Otherwise, you're just drilling down to a very small patient population. And when you get into smaller cohort sizes, the variability, the generalizability of it really dwindles a lot. So it was amazing to see, how much of a footprint Komodo has developed in terms of the claims assets it has served as a repository for. And I think that type of coverage overall enables a very large overlap with a data set such as us. And I think we see that whenever we do our typical cohort attrition diagrams, we apply inclusion-exclusion criteria. One of them is, and they need to have claims available in our partnered linked data asset, which is Komodo. And to be able to see that we don't lose a ton of patients at that step, I think highlights, one of the major reasons why the partnership, again, with Komodo has been so fruitful and was one of the main drivers for us selecting Komodo across, other potential viable options. And again, the joining of these data assets really enable researchers to surface rich and nuanced insights that are pertinent to, patient trajectory overall.
Well, you've come to the right partner. We see 330 million unique US patients in our healthcare map. So anybody that has touched a provider, we are seeing as part of our healthcare map. And again, similar to you all, harmonizing, linking data from, at this point, thousands of disparate data principles to make up that most robust privileged healthcare map that we can bring to market with organizations like you. Aracelis, it has been wonderful speaking with you today. Thank you so much for taking the time. For more from Aracelis and the team at Verana Health, follow them on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram at Verana Health. And to learn more about how Komodo Health is working to reduce the burden of disease, be sure to check out komodohealth.com. And for more on For the Health of It and stories about how we're transforming health, follow Komodo Health on Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Thank you all so much for watching For the Health of It today.